MeTV 24 Meridian proudly presents your favorite way to start the day. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
And good morning. We're back.
Yes, we are.
So, Scotty Ray and Candace, the weekend is upon us. This is October the 1st.
It is Friday.
It means get a bucket of chili this weekend is what it means.
I know, it would be a good time to cook some chili or some soup or something.
Look, I ran into somebody yesterday. If y'all saw the picture of the fire department that was over at CVS yesterday afternoon that I posted in, it was 1 o'clock or so yesterday afternoon. I was four fire trucks there in front of the CVS in North Hill Street.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my gosh, something's bad wrong.
I know, I saw the same thing. I was just like, what is going on? I had left work to go get my son from school, and I didn't know what was going on. And so I called my husband. I was like, do you know anything? Because I thought he was in town. I said, have you heard anything going on at the CVS? Like, what's going on? So I didn't know what had happened.
Ended up being sort of a false alarm, more or less. They were called. They thought maybe it had a fire, but in the end, it didn't.
Well, it's a good thing.
But I was walking across the parking lot, and I had somebody flag me down, and I had ran out of the house, and I grabbed a ball cap instead of my cowboy hat. I thought I was incognito. And somebody stopped me, and they told me they pretty much didn't like me.
Well, golly.
Because I'd gotten rid of Perry Mason. And I said, well,
Then stepped on somebody's toes, getting rid of their program.
I'm sorry about that. I said, I didn't mean to get rid of Perry there. I said, but you can watch him later on in the day. But he still didn't like it. But he did say that you were hot and I was ugly.
Oh, that was nice of him, I guess. I don't know.
So
Not for you.
I found it kind of funny.
That was sweet, I guess.
He likes you,
Or
though.
odd.
So
Anyway, I'm glad people are watching that.
yeah. I went to lunch yesterday with someone. I had somebody else speak to me and tell me they watched every day. And I'm telling you, we have so many people watching now, and it's all because of y'all. And we
Yes.
cannot thank y'all enough.
Yeah, so we're so glad that everybody's tuning in and watching, and whether it be on Facebook, YouTube, or MeTV.
Yeah.
And also the antenna. I mean, a lot of people are watching for that.
Now,
But, anyway.
another thing that we need to address, and this happened, what was that, about right at closing time for school, 3 o'clock, right along in there. I got the first text that said, hey, what's going on at the school? And so I Googled around, and I only saw something happen in Memphis. And I thought, well, everybody's got that confused.
Yeah.
And it ended up not being that way. It was Newton Elementary in the city limits of Newton. Now, let me make an apology. I knew that, and when I typed it out of habit, I put county when I originally put the text out there.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it till about 2 minutes later what I had done. I'm just in such a habit of putting county on everything that I do, but it was the city.
The city schools. Okay.
Now, the sad news is we have a child that was injured because another child brought a gun to school in a backpack. Don't know every detail, but apparently something bumped the pistol within the bag and it went off and injured another child.
Yeah.
He was airlifted. I say he was sent to Jackson.
That is,
We do hope everything's going to be okay. From everything
Yeah.
I've understood,
That is
it's
scary.
It is.
because it was a first grader. Is that correct?
Yeah.
We think a first grader.
And now you have to put yourself on both sides of the fence. So the parent of the child that was hurt, also the children,
Yeah.
parents of other children getting that news, and it's whoa.
Yeah, that's a scary thing.
And then you would most likely, I think in most cases like this, it's going to be an investigation as to how that child got that gun to begin with. And
Yeah.
you would think that there's possibility some charges will be brought against a parent somewhere. I don't know that, but normally that's how investigations like that work.
Yeah.
Pray, I mean, the community needs it. Boy, have we had some.
It's just been it's been one ordeal after another. Just, I mean, lots and lots of things happening in our area and surrounding areas and stuff. So yeah, we hope things, get better instead of something every time you turn around happening.
Keep both of those families in your prayers because they really need that. Each side of that fence has got to be horribly worried. How does this happen? I don't know. When I first put it up, there was a lot of comments that said, well, how do you accidentally in first grade carry a gun? And the word meant he didn't purposely do it is why it was worded that way. I wanted to clarify that because there was a lot of questions of accidentally, question mark, but that's why it discharged on his own. And I agree, he should not have had it.
Right.
So those are some things. Also, let's go on down to Clarke County. We got our second one, and let's go over here. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Our second inmate has returned home. As we look at what went on in Clarke County,
I wonder if they had to go. Did they find him, or he turned himself in, or?
Oh, I'm sure they had to find him.
Yeah.
But the sheriff, this is them getting him out here, bringing him in, and this one had shoes when he returned. So Bruce Davis back in custody, and you can get up to 5 years added to your sentence for skipping this. So I don't see him getting out of it. I really hate it. That's a bad deal. They trust you enough to let you go do something to stay active, and then you abuse that and run off.
Yeah.
Todd Kemp, the guys all over that.
Yeah, because it is the trustees, right? That
Right.
they end up, that they end up letting do that.
I cannot imagine thinking, okay, I got 2 years, and all of a sudden you got 5 more added to it.
Yeah.
Oh my heavens.
Yeah, that would be bad.
So that's a few of the headlines that have gone on over the last 24 hours of things in our area. And wow is all I can say. Now, there's also, if you want to go to the webpage, some footage there that somebody took. And I asked the gentleman, did he mind if I shared it? And he said, go right ahead. But it was footage from the school where the helicopter was landing to pick up the child.
Yeah.
And that's really all it shows. It doesn't show anything that it shouldn't. Now, there was...
I hope the kid will be okay.
Yeah, I do too. Prayers, everybody on that. And I know that it is a term that's used a lot of, prayers. But we mean that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that can fix our community. You can say we can do this, we can do that, but it's got to start with a prayer to fix what we've got wrong with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how did the rest of your day go yesterday? Was it good, bad?
Yeah, it was just, long because I'll go back and work on Thursdays. A lot of times I'll work a little bit later on Thursdays. So just a long day.
And I've had those, so
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Yes.
So I hope it gets better, and I can't help that little ding that just happened there. I don't know why it did it, but it did. So my apologies to everybody for that little sound that popped up there. Maybe it'll go away. But let's take a minute and talk about this, because this is another serious matter. Now, when we get to next month, we're in October now. November rolls around, and December is our second tornado season. Always happens every year. We have a spring, and then we have a winter one. And this is coming next year, so keep in mind this. And have some peace of mind. Talk to our friends at the Precast Group. Now, they do this year-round. They make storm shelters, and they want you to come by and take a look. Have some peace of mind. Very affordable. A lot cheaper than one might think. Go by and see these. They got plenty of them on display. You can get one brought to your home. They can set it up. They'll deliver it out there. You can have this. I had somebody call me and want the number yesterday about putting it on a slab just like this. And they'll do that. Now, steel construction on these doors, and what they do is they test it to make sure 2x4s can't go through any of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not,
that could be a flying debris and stuff.
Right. As you keep going through these pictures, here's those type that you can bury in the ground, whichever one you would prefer, above or below. It's kind of just whatever suits your fancy.
Yeah.
It's the Precast Group. Call them today, 482-0003. They'll help you save your life and at the same time give you peace of mind, even when it's just a little thunder boomer. See them today.
I spent weeks in the hospital due to a careless driver. I could no longer afford to do it alone. I knew I needed help.
I'm Mississippi Attorney Richard Schwartz. I'm proud to represent the people of the great state I call home.
I'm Michelle from Oxford, Mississippi, and it took one call, and that was all. I called my Mississippi attorney, Richard Schwartz, and he got me $287,500.
If you need me, Mississippi, remember, one call, that's all.
I would have almost bet money that Candace was going to tell me that she had a camper loaded up and they were fisting to go east toward Talladega.
No. I went to Talladega one time.
No, I had never been.
That was enough for me.
What was it like?
I like watching the races. It wasn't that. It was just people act crazy. Like at the
it
races.
Might be a little drinking involved over
Well,
there.
I didn't.
I ain't saying you did,
Yeah, we weren't
but,
drinking. We were sitting up in the stands, and but it was so hot. But this is when people like act wild, I've heard.
Oh, yeah, the Talladega
And you could see
Super
people
Speedway.
driving by you acting crazy, hanging out the windows.
I've always heard the infield is where
Yeah.
it's one big party, and that's why I
Yeah.
said the drinking thing on that.
Yeah. I think a lot of people probably really get into all that. That wouldn't have been my thing, but, some of the stuff I don't know. But anyway, we're going to leave it there. But anyway, yeah, I like the races and stuff. I mean, I like to watch the races. But.
I cannot help but when I see the logo Talladega, all I think of is Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
And I guess that's going to be forevermore implanted in my mind of what Talladega is. Talladega Nights.
Well, when I went, it was around the time that Davy Allison got killed.
Oh.
He was in a helicopter, and got
Right.
killed. And it was like the day before the race, or a day or two before the race is when he got killed. And his wife was actually at that race, speaking, I think, on his behalf.
She didn't happen to have Prop Me Up Beside the Jukebox play or anything, did she?
No, she did not.
You know where I'm going with
Yes.
that. Okay. I was just making sure.
Goodness.
But that got to be quite a romance, I heard.
Oh, really?
It was hearsay.
His wife?
Yeah, you knew about that, didn't you?
No, I didn't know
Joe
about all
Diffie
that.
dated her.
Oh, no, I did not. I didn't know all
He
that.
went and sang ships that don't come in at the funeral.
No, I didn't know all that. I didn't know all that information.
That's why.
I was like, I thought you were being like just joking. I was like, this is kind of serious I'm talking about here, and you're going to joke about propping him up. Oh, goodness. But yeah, that was the race I went to.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to embarrass you there.
No, I just thought you were joking about.
Prop me up beside the
Yeah, I mean, I thought.
No, I wouldn't do anything like
Yeah.
that. But yeah,
I didn't know about him.
I guess
didn't know about
back
Jody.
it up in here,
Yeah.
thinking that out loud now. If you
Yeah.
didn't know that, that did sound kind of bad. But
Yeah, I didn't know that Joe Diffie had dated his wife.
and it all started because he sang at the funeral. And well, that's gone. And now Joe's not here anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that was bad.
Wow. So
That happened when we were still home with the pandemic stuff,
and it's
a
still,
shocker.
Yeah, I know you think back on the people like Mac Davis also happened last year during that pandemic. We were losing them one right after the other. Now,
Yeah.
if I remember right, it was heart attack that dealt with Mac Davis complications.
Was it? Okay. I wasn't sure. And I know initially they said Joe Diffie died of COVID, but then I heard that kind of like,
I think he got sick, but he had a lot of other. If you go back and look at the pictures of Joe, he didn't look so healthy either. And I really think he had some other issues going, and that just didn't help things.
Yeah.
And so sad. But boy,
Yes.
there ain't nobody that can sing like Joe Diffie.
Yeah, he was good.
Is
He
it
was a good
cold in
singer.
here, or is it just you? Boy, is that a country song or what?
Yeah.
But Talladega going on this weekend. If you're headed off there, I hope you'll enjoy yourself over there and get to it. It almost, and I bring this up because it makes me mad the way things are handled in the United States. If you're with one party and you do something, they seem to come after you with what's the word I'm looking for? Both barrels. Remember that old term?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's going on. A Marine who rescued a baby. Let me show the picture of this. This was over at that airport. He rescued this baby right here. Now, he done the right thing.
Yeah.
Trump asked him to come speak at a rally. He's under investigation now because he went to Trump's rally, and they're trying to deem if anything that he said broke military protocol. I don't think the gentleman did.
Really? Really? I mean, we had the general that was talking about Trump in a book,
Yeah.
and he's thinking nothing needs to be done to him. you know?
And there was treason, unlike
Right. Yeah, but somebody can be trying to help somebody.
I just get shocked.
It's crazy. Everything is there's so many terms that you can say it, but backwards.
You know?
Yeah,
Candace
yeah.
has a
It's backwards, right?
It
I mean,
is.
everything's crazy. Good's bad, bad's good. It's crazy.
but keep this old boy in your thoughts there. He really done something good. If he'd have gone and spoke at a Joe rally, there would have been nothing wrong with it because he done something that was humane and helped somebody.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't understand everything that you see in the news these days of who, what, when, and why.
Yeah.
I thought we'd share that with you this morning. Oh boy! As we go through some more news stories here, Katie Couric, you remember her from back in the 90s?
Yeah. I mean, she was big on the Today Show, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm.
And the first time I can remember, and this seems like people almost would laugh now at you. But me and Angie were sitting there watching. I was late for work one day, and it's just weird. They were talking about the internet.
Yeah.
That it was fixing to come out, and they were saying it's going to be www dot. And I remember going, what are you people talking about?
Yeah.
And then they were talking about the internet with it coming. That just seems so far away. But she has released a book and just pretty much running down coworkers, period.
Yeah, I heard that she had a lot of dirt on a bunch of people, and she was just letting it fly in this book.
Yeah, I would imagine she is not a popular person right now.
Yeah.
People normally get mad over that.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big news stories across America this morning on that also there.
Yes.
All right, let's see here. And I forgot to turn that on. That'll be all right, though. I forgot to turn something on. That's all on my end there. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Granny with a grudge. And you have not seen this headline. I didn't share this with you before we started. But you know how you always wish your car had a camera on it?
Yeah.
See what happened while you were gone? Well, apparently Telsa's, that brand Telsa, those automatic cars do. And let's slide down here and take a look at what Granny done when she...
Oh, Lord.
Watch. Oh, she's coming back. She keys somebody's car. Why would... That's just mean. So that did happen. She'll be paying for that little mistake there.
Goodness.
But you never would have known had there not been a camera on that car.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, people, I don't understand. I mean, people don't have any kind of respect for anybody's cars or anything. People ram buggies into them. They don't even care. But she must have had a grudge against somebody.
Well, from what I read, the story is it ended up being she thought the car was parked too close to her car. Now, is that any reason to tear up somebody's... Those cars are like $50,000 or better.
Yeah, people...
And I saw something the other day, and I don't know if anybody's seen this floating around, and I don't have the video in front of me. But as you look at used car prices, and I say this because it was a Jaguar convertible. And I probably didn't say Jaguar correct. How you say it?
I say Jaguar. But I'm sure I sound like a country hick.
And I've heard other people pronounce it differently, but a convertible, they're expensive. They're not cheap, but it valued the car at $40,000, brand new car, and it rolls off the back of the truck. You know, they're getting ready to unload it, and it rolls off on its own, slams, hits the ground, hits another car. And they were saying this $40,000 car has to have work done to it. I was looking at buy, sell, trade on Facebook. I saw a 2012 truck for $40,000. There's no way that car was $40,000. It has to be a lot more because $40,000 doesn't get you anything anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't really. I mean, I can't believe how much vehicles are, and now they're even more because everything's so much higher right now.
Go buy you a new Tahoe, $70,000. Now that's a new price now, and they could be higher. But I've seen trucks, $85,000.
Yeah,
I mean. That's a house.
I can't imagine paying that much for a truck. That is ridiculous, I think.
I will forevermore drive a used vehicle for the rest of my life. There's no reason for me to ever own a new vehicle ever again like that.
I don't understand why people would pay that much. I'd rather have a house than a vehicle. I mean, I'd want a vehicle. I got to have one to get where I'm going, but I wouldn't.
But you ain't got to have that $80,000, dude. That's just thoughts. And what is causing it? And we need to bring somebody in about this one morning to talk about used car prices. And this goes back to what we've talked about, the United States not having everything they need. And it drives the problem because of these computer chips on the new ones. And then, so there's not any new ones being made, so it makes the pre-owned worth so much more.
Yeah.
And there you go, 2012 model at $40,000.
Yes. It's crazy.
Shocked is the way I would put that there.
Yeah.
So anyway, Granny's probably going to spend the night in jail.
Should be paying a hefty fine and probably paying for somebody's vehicle to be fixed.
I just I remember as a kid, my dad's car got that done, and they did end up catching whoever done that. So,
good.
Yeah. Let's talk about a few things going on over the weekend. This has kicked off the Highway 15 yard sale, first weekend in October. That's going to be running until October the 3rd, which is Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to check that out, it's 100 miles of it. go by and see that. I think there's some other things this weekend. Oh, yeah. We need to bring up the plate lunch and benefit sale that's going to be at the Pine Lake Fellowship Camp.
All right.
Just off of Pine Lake Road.
Right. Gumbo and jambalaya, which sounds really good because I love gumbo. I do. So
Gumbo kind of gal.
I like that. Yeah.
Lunch will be from 11 until 12:30. Children $5, adults $10. So check it out. Hopefully it'll go to help some kids on top of all of this.
Baked goods. It says they're going to have Christmas decorations and fall decorations for sale. Also quilts.
Some good stuff there. So make sure you go out with that. Next week, we'll have some more revivals that we'll be talking about. And we're also going to have the FCA drop by and talk about some of the things that they are doing. That's good to have Fellowship of Christian Athletes in the schools influencing our kids.
Yeah, it is.
And also some more. Duffy's got a revival coming up next week. We'll talk about all that. Now, also, isn't the Marina Little Theater, don't they have a show coming up?
Yeah, I think it's called Guys and Dolls.
Yeah, I got it right here. Let me show this.
Guys and Dolls.
October 7th. That'll be, Thursday-ish?
I would have to look and make sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, October 7th through the 10th.
So if you can make it out to that show, I hope you'll enjoy yourself and go by and see that also. And then we'll have some more events coming up around the corner also that deal with all of that. So make sure to check that out. Let's see here what else we got going on in the news this morning. I hope everybody's doing good. We got a pretty good weekend with weather-wise. Not going to be too bad. Rain moving in on Sunday. We got a little dampness coming, and then we'll kick the beginning of the week off with some rain. So that's coming there. Okay. Let's see some other stories that are happening up here. We talk about these shoplifters that walk in stores with no regards
and just bag up stuff like they own it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to a video here. I want to show this because number one, I just can't believe somebody does this.
Yeah. They do. They're doing it all the time now. And people just stand around and watch them, you know, and video them. Wow.
I mean, why not step up and go, hey?
Yeah. I heard where one store lost $40,000 or $50,000 in 1 month because of people doing this. Yeah.
How can a store even begin to have a profit if you lose that much? And there they go.
Crazy. And I don't know if you've been in one of these Ulta stores or is that what it is, an Ulta? I think
that's what it looks like.
Their stuff ain't cheap. I mean, it's very expensive.
That bag right there could be serious money.
If it's perfume, I mean, it ain't nothing to pay $100 for a bottle of perfume in there.
Woo.
I mean, it's name brand perfumes and colognes, and it's name brand prices too. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Now, to my knowledge, nothing that has happened like that ever locally. I have not heard of anything like that. But these big cities, have you ever heard of the flash mob? Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Where they dance and stuff?
Well, it's similar to that. It's where it's a group of people. A flash mob started out being to where you'd be a group of people and they'd start dancing, 40 or 50 of them.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to be flash mob robberies to where 30 or 40 of them come into a store and then all at one time they all start shoplifting. And then the people that own the store and security can't control that many people doing it.
That is so crazy.
Now, again, we ain't had anything like that locally, but it ain't good.
That ain't good.
I saw you've seen the King Tut and the mummies all your life. I always get intrigued when they put that on the History Channel of what's going on with the Egyptians, of what happened so many years ago. They went into one of these, and technology is some kind of special. Look at this of how they can determine. They scanned 3 mummies, got their facial look, and they determined these 3 mummies would look like this now.
That is odd. I've never heard of that.
And I guess I'm sure to some degree that is used when they find a body nowadays, that's been there a few months and they have to try to figure out who John Doe is. I guess it's that same technology.
That is neat that they can do that, though. I mean, it's really neat.
And and I know you've heard this before.
What?
The curse of King Tut.
I've heard of it.
Everybody that touched that grave died. A horrible, tragic death.
Goodness.
You think that could really...
I don't know if that's true.
Do you believe in that kind of stuff?
I don't know. I don't think that's so. No, I just kind of out there to me.
You did watch Brandon Fraser in that movie, The Mummy, didn't you?
parts of it.
Because it kind of touched on that to where if you've done this, then the bad guy come after you. I don't know. It's intriguing though, but maybe the bad guys can get you. I don't know. Let's see here. Let's look at a few other stories that have gone on. I don't understand how. I'm trying to think of the right words for this to make sure I say this right. You've got, as we just talked about, all these robberies that have happened and the security guards stand around. Well, there was an accident at a school. A school safety officer fired a round at a girl because she drove off from a wreck. There was a fender bender in the parking lot. Well, he hit her, killed her.
Oh, good. Oh, my goodness.
I don't see how that could happen. Because, you can get a tag number and you can track anybody down on stuff like that. So this was in California.
Especially had a child. Did she have the 5-month-old with her?
I don't think so.
Okay.
She was getting out of school.
Okay. Oh, okay.
She was just a student with a child is the way they worded it.
Okay. I'm thinking she was leaving the school, had child in the car with her. I don't know. Even though she's 15, I mean, excuse me, 18, she's still old enough to drive. I mean, I thought she might have been in a car. Excuse me.
But,
yeah, it says in the back of the head as she drove away.
She did, yeah, right. She did,
okay.
but the child, she didn't have the baby with her. She was getting out of school.
Okay, I'm all confused today, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sometimes I have to have things explained in depth to me.
That's fine, and no big deal. But it's just one of those things how one can rob this and do that, and then the girl just has a fender bender and they pop a cap off. I just don't quite understand all of that.
Yeah.
So that's some of the stories. Let's look at a few things that we always do this each day and talk about a few things in history. Let me go up here and grab this. You got any idea whose birthday it is?
Would it be Jimmy Carter's birthday?
There he is. 1924. Here he come. He became president back in 1977. Who remembers that?
I do remember him being president.
Right. Yeah. And the do run stuff up there has nothing to do with him because I didn't change that.
Did he sing to do run?
I can't believe I left that on there. Whoops.
When he was running for president, he was singing "Did he run?"
But Jimmy and the Peanuts, he did make it to the White House, and up until now, he was rated as the worst president ever. We have a new contender for that.
Yeah, Biden kind of beats that, I think.
Yeah. Who remembers Tom Bosley? Does that name ring a bell with you?
Happy Days.
Happy Days. Seems like he was also Murder, She Wrote. I think he played the sheriff. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But he was Mr. C, if y'all remember, from Happy Days. He was born on this day. Passed away back in, it's been 11 years now, passed away in 2010.
Goodness.
Didn't realize that. 1956, theaters did a screening of Love Me Tender. And they brought in some teenagers and let them watch it. And they got all upset. They didn't like it because Elvis died at the end. And so the movie company went back and done a reshoot. And, well, Elvis lived. Made everybody happy at the end. Well, probably is what they say is the most serious acting job that Elvis ever did.
I never saw that.
You ought to watch it.
Yeah. I didn't even know there was a movie called Love Me Tender. I didn't know that.
You know the song, don't you?
Yeah, I do know the song, but I didn't know there was a movie. So,
yeah, if anything during the
60s,
let's slap Elvis in a movie and make him sing. God bless him. That had to be hard. Yeah. And he really, if you read anything about Elvis, he really wanted to be an actor with no singing. He wanted to act and never have songs in it, but the Colonel wouldn't let him. Yeah, he had some tough times there.
The Colonel. He wasn't an upstanding guy, was he?
Took half of everything Elvis made.
Great.
50% to where any other person that handles your stuff gets 15%. He also took 100% of anything that was sold of Elvis's likeness, like dolls, any of that. He got to keep 100% of it. Of course, when Elvis died, the estate sued and changed a lot of that. And Lisa Marie got to walk away with all that in the end. Let's see, 1962, Carson took over The Tonight Show. And, of course, that would change late-night television like it had never been done before. You know,
he was a card now, for sure. He was always doing something funny, you know.
Yeah. I would almost rather watch reruns of him than current stuff.
Yeah, he was funny. He was funny when you pull it. And she was the next little clip
what
thing,
a show this was.
Funny, too.
The
Yes.
Lucy Show. Now, this was after her and Lucy.
You got some splaining to do.
Yeah. After they had broke up, this show here became popular, and she went her separate ways, and that was the divorce that nobody thought would ever happen.
Yes.
Thought we'd pass that along too there.
She was funny. I love watching. To this day, I like to watch old reruns of Lucy.
What is the one? All right, let me ask this. If you think of Lucy, what is the one episode of I Love Lucy that pops in your head that you think of?
There's two, but the one where they're putting candy in the boxes on the conveyor belt and it's going too fast, it speeds up and she starts shoving it in her mouth and throwing it everywhere.
All right, what's the second?
And then the
one?
grapes, the one with the grapes where she's stomping the grapes and the thing, and she and that woman get in a fight with the grapes, and
that was the one that no matter what that I think of as those grapes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody's got their own episode that just clicks in your head when you think of I Love Lucy.
yeah, she's going around jumping in the grapes.
Oh, and then there was that one.
funny.
Do you remember where they were going on the camping trip and she stays in the back of the camper and they go uphill and she's trying to hold on to everything?
No,
And it keeps
I didn't see
sliding.
that one. I didn't see that one.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Real
She
good.
and Ethel, they were a pair for sure.
Don't look at though. 1974, this was the number one song when you woke up today. If you love me, let me know. Olivia Newton-John.
Yes.
Big hit.
I remember a lot of her songs, but she was really good in the Grease movie. So, yeah.
She had a couple big hits back then. I was trying to think of the other song that, and it's just, I'm going blank on it. It'll come to me in a minute. 1974 also brought probably one of the scariest movies that ever hit theaters. To this day, is still scary.
I don't like scary stuff, so yeah.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre began, and then they would have 25 episodes after that.
Yeah, I don't like that or the Jason movies or Nightmare on Elm Street. I hated watching that movie, and my friends back in school wanted to watch it all the time. Every time. I mean, they cut all the lights out.
And why is it that in every scary movie, they're always going to fall?
Yeah.
I mean, they run and get away.
Yeah.
And then
They're
wherever...
going to trip over something.
Then what's the next thing they do? Let me see if you're thinking the same thing I am. Say something's after you. What do? Do you jump in the car that's got the keys and leave, or B, go inside where the chainsaws are hanging on the wall with all the sharp objects?
Well, but most of the time they get in the car and the keys are not in it. And then they're going, oh my gosh. Yeah. It's always some kind of little dilemma when something's after them.
And then the absolute worst scary movie ever made was The Blair Witch Project. I still scratch my head and go, what was that about?
Yeah. I didn't even watch it. I thought it was really odd that it was just a movie about him carrying a video camera around, right?
Yeah. Now, if you really love to get scared, this weekend we invite you to go down to the Bailey Volunteer Fire Department. They're going to be having their annual Scary House, or Haunted House, I guess is the word for it.
Yeah.
It's going to be going on all through the month of October. If you really like to do that, go check that out. I was talking to some firemen, and boy, they have some great stories. It's just funny. Lord. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I ain't going through that.
I ain't going in there. I ain't going up in there.
Big chicken, little chicken. Y'all just remember that.
Like I said the other day, it is not wise for me to go in there, because when something comes at me, I'm coming back. Like, I'm pushing back, and so I don't want to hurt anybody.
I don't know.
And I don't want to be hurt.
And I don't know if anybody remembers, I had a neighbor when I lived in Scuba, Mississippi, named Patricia Smith. God rest her soul. She's
the one that had the store.
Yeah, she had the store.
Yeah.
And then she also went to Clarkdale and had a store. So everybody in the Clarkdale community will know Patricia, but she was my neighbor. And she just really loved Halloween. And she would dress up, and she had somebody laying there, and they grabbed somebody's leg and they wet themselves. I'm like,
really? Oh gosh.
it was hilarious. She scared I don't know how to say that.
She'd have said it.
She would have.
She would have said anything. I think.
If y'all know Trish, you know what she's talking about.
Right. Yeah.
She didn't hold back.
If it went here, it come out of there. Like, boom, just like that.
Oh, let's see. 1985. Who remembers Ronnie Millsap and Lost in the 50s Tonight?
Yeah, I remember that song.
Yeah, that was good. I sure like Ronnie. And again, lost his wife just a few weeks ago.
I saw that. Yeah.
She was 81 years old. And
how old is he?
Well, he's got to be right about that same age.
Gosh, I can't imagine.
Now,
I mean, time just has flown by that much.
and this next guy, I saw a picture. This is going to shock you. This guy's like 69 years old now. And I'm thinking, there is absolutely no way he's 69. It can't be.
Yeah.
But it's true. Back in 1982, the number one song was Jack and Diane. Mm-hmm. Remember that one?
I do. I remember.
But he was walking down the beach the other day, showed him with some, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's Joe.
Does he look real old, too?
He don't look like that no more.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he looks horrible by any means, but you have that image of what he looked like there when he was really popular, just burned in your head. And then you wake up one day and they no longer look that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And this next thing was a tragedy in the United States. Still hadn't figured out everything around this of what made this guy do that. But 2017, Jason Aldean steps onto a stage in Las Vegas, and a few minutes later, shots are fired. And this is what happened that day. Just America was taken off. 58 people. 58 people.
58 died. I did not realize that many people passed away from that.
He had gun after gun lined up against the wall, and when one would empty, he'd grab another gun and empty it.
My gosh.
I think he spent
What was the motive for that? Did they ever figure it out?
No, because, he died.
And, but nobody had any, no, he hadn't spoken to anybody about it beforehand?
No, it was one of the strangest things there of a...
Yeah. That's scary.
And, then, of course, I think the hotel got sued beyond it because maybe they didn't...
Security and stuff.
How would they know? But the guy, over a week's period of time, if I remember right, brought those guns in little by little and eased them into the room. And, of course, I guess, I don't know why the maids didn't notice something peculiar. And that's why now, and I've seen 2 instances of it, to where cops have been called to a motel room. The first time, I think, was a couple of buddies that were going hunting, and they didn't want to leave their guns in the truck because they were afraid they would get stolen.
Yeah.
But I guess you can sympathize and say that the hotel staff, cleaning staff, done the right thing. It's better to be safe than sorry is where I'm going with that.
Yeah, because you don't ever know what somebody's capable of.
Or thinking these days.
Yeah, what they're planning to do with whatever it is.
Yeah. So we had these folks on with us just earlier in the week. We had Ryan come in and talk about cleaning. And when it comes to getting your house clean, talk to these folks. Godwin Cleaning Services, they'll get you going in no time flat.
Yes.
Now, they offer a lot. They've been downtown Meridian getting rid of the graffiti there. They didn't have any charge to any of the businesses that got hit by this. Locations here in Meridian. You can also reach them in Alabama. Harry Mayer had this done. And somebody else I talked to said that they had cleaned their awning, and it was just wonderful how they done it, made it look.
Yeah. It looks brand new. I mean, it really does. And like houses and like the roof line and stuff. I mean, I would have never known some of this stuff.
Metal buildings here. And as you go to that roof line like you're talking about,
yeah, I mean,
as you said when we were talking to him, you almost think, well, the whole roof's got to be replaced because you can't get that off. But this is low pressure, cleans it, makes it look absolutely new. Look at that, just stunning.
Yes.
Black roof, now back to the original color. And as you go on, they do so many things. If it's dirty, it can be cleaned, from a car to your brick, whatever the case is. Talk to Godwin Cleaning Services. They do all of this, and they'll get you going there.
I was coming down Highway 19 on a bicycle. I got hit by a car. When I woke up, I was in the hospital. I called Mr. Schwartz. He took my case. He was there for me from the beginning to the end. 5-6 months later, I had my settlement.
One call, that's all.
And welcome back. I didn't hit the button in time, did I? Whoops.
It was a pause.
1970, and now you and I both were children, but I do remember not being able to buy gas. I remember that 77, 78, along in there, gas prices shot through the roof. We'd been used to 69 cents forever, and all of a sudden you couldn't get gas. And the headline reads that the rising cost of this could be a 1970 stylish episode
Inflation.
we're going to have. Yeah.
I heard that things were fixing to really skyrocket up. I mean, not just ease up a little bit. It was going to really go up. It was going to be a shock. So after the first of the year is what I heard.
So everybody, don't let anything sneak up on you. Be prepared for what could happen. And
Yes.
we don't have all the details of everything going on, but this fight back and forth in Washington of the debt ceiling and the $1 trillion that they're trying to pass with Joe. Somebody someday has got to pay for all of this.
Well, all this, trying to find out how much money you have in your bank account, and if you do anything $600 or above, they got to know about it. It's crazy.
And you can't, I know that the United States is a caring country, and we give money to help other countries. But when is it that you go, hang on, y'all, just a minute, we don't need to give $2 trillion to this country when we've got homeless people on the streets here, or vets that need medical attention?
Right.
Why is it that we give to countries that want to hurt us when our people need it?
That's right.
Don't you have to have a budget and you go, whoop, hold on.
Yeah.
Thoughts from somebody deep in Mississippi is all I can say. I may be wrong. You may disagree with me.
It's like they're catering to other countries before they're taking care of our own, for sure. So
now this is
another backwards thing.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Backwards. Kim Kardashian. Now, I don't know much about her. I do know that they had a television show one time. They may still have that. It seems like it stopped and maybe it started back. But she did do a good deed. She gave a single mom $3,000 who was getting ready to be evicted because she didn't have the money, or her husband had lost his job. She'd lost her husband.
Yeah.
And then she lost her job because of COVID, if I remember that right.
Okay.
And she gave him $3,000 to help out. Now, that's a good thing. So a salute to Kim Kardashian for helping out.
Yeah, that's always good when somebody helps somebody out like that, do a good deed.
As we go through other things, and you think back, and I jump around from story to story of the headlines of across America. The Nazis, I think everybody knows who I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
This is recently 96 years old. A secretary that worked at one of the concentration camps for the Nazis was supposed to go to trial over this, and she escaped. They caught her, but at 96, she's most
96,
likely she's going to be sentenced for her crimes that she done when she was there. World War II death camp is really what that was.
That is awful.
And let me say this. Have you ever talked to somebody and you go, there's absolutely no way that you can be, let me politically think of a word for it. I'm trying to say that they're not that smart, that they believe anything that they tried to tell me that the concentration camps were made up. And I'm like
it didn't happen?
Right. That it was all made up in the media. I'm like, are you 6,000 people, 6 million people lost their lives in concentration camps? It amazes me how little time goes and a generation is told something.
Well, and back then it was kind of, it really is kind of, in a way mirrors some things that are going on today. These people were kind of,
the rights were taken away a little at the
time. And I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. I've mentioned it before, but it is a good movie. And if you've never seen it, you need to watch it, and it'll open your eyes to a lot of things. But in that movie, it portrayed that the people were deceived. They thought they were going to one area. They thought they were going to stay in some kind of a nice area.
And it was not.
And it was not. And then they were led into showers, thinking they were going to take a shower.
And it was not.
And it was awful.
And there was another movie that I watched that was supposed to be based upon a true story. And I want to say the name of it was The Pianist. And it was a guy that was a famous, and the concentration camps come on. The horror that went on.
It's heart-wrenching thinking about stuff like that went on.
No, and that's why you don't erase history.
Right.
That's why history will repeat itself if you get rid of history.
Well, to me, these people who went through the things that they're trying to keep everybody from remembering or bringing up or whatever, it's like a slap in their face. The people who went through this. I don't care what race you are, but when you don't talk about it or act like it didn't happen or erase it from books and keep people from learning about it, it's just like a slap in people's face. Because even if people went through things that were bad, you can't change that. All you can do is move forward.
That's right.
And I think the United States and a lot of people in all over the world have come a long way.
They have. So anyway, I had to get that off my chest.
Right.
I felt like I needed to say that. Let's see here. Macy's, let's move on to something else there. Hire for plots. How many people really think they can get away with this? Where you start having a little fling on the side and you go, hey, you know that old dude I'm married to? Let's take him out tonight. I know where he's going to be. And this was a big headline a couple of years back ago. She's been charged with calculating the murder for the hire for plot. Her husband was a big exec in American Airlines, and she had her boyfriend on the side kill him. She's going away for a very long time.
People kill me that think that they can just get away with that. I mean, it just blows my mind. You know, how people just, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see here. Robert Duvall and Adam Sandler are hanging out in a Rolls Royce. They're filming a new Netflix movie called Hustle in Philadelphia. I like Robert Duvall.
I do too. He's always been a good actor.
But here they are in the car there. If you're a big fan of them, that's what they're doing these days. Pretty neat there. So
he was good in Days of Thunder. He was the guy, wasn't he? In that,
he's the head mechanic.
Yeah,
so to speak. There. So other movies that he's been, of course, Lonesome Dove. He just has that drawl that is what I call Americana. As you go back to Henry Fonda, people like that with a voice that when you hear it, you know who it is.
I can't believe he's 90.
Wow.
90 years old. I did not realize he was that. I was just looking at his face and I thought he's aging. You know, he's aged a lot since last time and then it says 90 years old.
Yeah, he's still getting around. And, you know, him and Kevin Costner in Lonesome Dove was probably one of those up there Westerns that was ever made. I like that a whole lot. Yeah. See, Barry Manilow's girlfriend is arrested and charged with trespassing.
Barry Manilow?
Oops, made a mistake on that.
I don't think Barry Manilow has a girlfriend.
You know, I read that story 3 times and I thought it said Barry Manilow.
Yeah, I don't think he's got a girlfriend.
Do you know who this cat is?
I don't. Barry Morphew. I've never heard of him. But his girlfriend's been arrested and charged with trespassing after she was caught removing a package from the home that he shared with his missing wife, Suzanne, just days after he was released on a $500,000 bail.
I really thought that was Barry Manilow. So my mistake there. Yeah. I back up on that, Barry. I'm sorry about that. And we'll just move right along there since I've done that all wrong there.
Goodness.
One of the next stories that we ran into was when... You ever go to yard sales?
I did when I was younger with my grandparents. I did. But I have been to them, yeah.
Interesting story here. A woman goes and she buys this photo album. Well, it gets to become an obsession with her, and she tracks down the family of it. It was from the 1920s, and she somehow or another tracked down the family that all these people were kin to. Maybe that's your thing.
A lot of people are doing those DNA tests, like where they, I don't know what you call it, Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
They try to find out who they're kin to and, you know, the family tree and stuff. My aunt did that one time, and she has a big family tree of everybody that we're kin to some kind of way. It'd be neat to see, you know, because it goes way back.
Yeah, and let me warn you on that. I've heard of... issues being brought up in families with that because of those DNA tests, and they go, "Hey, you got 3 kids you didn't know about," and you go, "Weren't you married at that time?" And they go, "Huh?"
Yeah, that would be.
It's been some sticky situations brought up by that, and also you criminals out there, if you're thinking, "Hey, I robbed a store about 2 years ago," you left some DNA. Don't be doing that because they will get you through there.
Yeah, I've heard of people being arrested and charged with murder and all kind of stuff.
So
from doing those ancestry things.
So it makes me think, and you correct me if I'm wrong here, does the government have access to all of that DNA that's given to Ancestry.com and companies like that to where they can access police?
Probably. I mean, I would imagine, because I think I was watching this. It was like one of these investigation shows. And I think a lady that worked on there that's starting to solve crimes, like cold cases, have been solved now from using DNA from stuff like this. So, yeah, I guess people think it's been years ago and I've got away with it. And, you know, they're living their lives now. And, let's see who we're kin to. Guess what? You're going to jail.
I just, think about these things. But I've often wondered how that works. I wonder if some of that paperwork that you sign off on says, "Hey, we can give this to the police," and they're going,
I don't know. It probably could be used against them, you know, in some kind of fine print that they don't read. They don't take the time to read it.
Yeah, and it is some fine print out there, so watch all of that if you're wanting to go get tested there. You might have a new family member before the weekend is out.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our friends at Freeman Tractor. If you'll notice in the background, they got every part that you can think of when it comes to a tractor. If for some reason they don't have it, they'll track it down and get it for you. Lots of parts there, from lawnmower belts to blades, anything of that nature, radiators, and a whole lot more. But they specialize in lawnmowers, and they got a lot of lawnmowers to get you going, to get that grass taken care of there. From the Skags, also the X-Marks, plenty of those. And they're fast, affordable. Yep, they can get you hooked up with financing as well. Freeman Tractor, 626-8759. From a tractor with cabin air conditioners, you go into the winter months, you'll be wanting to be warm. Not as warm as it has been, but you'll be wanting to be warm. We've got plenty of bush hogs, and of course, these right here are great tillers. If you don't own one, it really changes the way your garden will look. Makes it a fine, fine soil. From bush hogs to bat wings and disc and a whole lot more. See them there. Set of forks, also the benchies, the 750s, the 550s, any size that you're looking for that you need around your farm or home, they've got that. 626-8759 is the number to Freeman Tractor. See them today.
It happened so fast. I didn't even see that person behind me. I said, well, I need to call Richard Schwartz. Once I made that one call, they began working for me. They are going to make sure you get what you deserve.
One call, that's all.
Do you remember, and this was a few months back, this come up, the AG, which is the South Dakota Attorney General is what the AG stands for. The guy was driving home one night, and he hit something, and he called the cops when he hit it, and he said, hey, I think I hit a deer. I've damaged my car.
Yeah.
Goes home, goes to bed, gets up the next morning, looks at his car, and goes, okay, something's peculiar here.
Yeah.
Goes back, and he had hit a man, and he
gosh.
thought it was an animal. Cops are called in, and he was acquitted because he did take all the necessary steps. And of course, the lady, the widow, Susie, they've reached an out of court settlement.
Goodness.
Can't replace anybody you've got. The guy wasn't drinking. There was nothing in his alcohol, in his blood level that indicated that. But
Goodness. That's just, that's awful.
And all it takes is just looking down one time at a cell phone or looking out the window and being distracted.
I mean, it really does. You can get off the edge of the road in a hurry.
So, and if you're walking, if you jog, run, wear bright colored clothes, do not do anything. Don't walk those edges of the road because it's just best not to walk at night.
Yeah,
if you can
it
help
is. I don't know why.
I know that
I guess it's cooler. Some people go at night walking. I don't know.
And you run out of gas too.
Right.
Who hadn't had that happen in their life?
That's right.
I'm sure that there's a story with Candace of her running out of gas and there being a hike.
I have ran out of gas before. And I'm close to my husband. He's probably thinking, he's all the time running it on just about empty. But no, I always intend on getting to the gas station before I do. But
I had one vehicle, most of them, when that light comes on, you got 40, 50 miles that you can just kind of limp on down the road, need to get you there. But I had one Silverado that when it got to the orange, it didn't even have to be all the way over. If it just touched it, it quit. And you quickly learn after the third time of, this truck don't play. I'm going to walk.
Yeah.
Angie got tired of me calling her.
Well, I know with my vehicle, with my little Honda now, I could go drive. I knew how long I could go if my gas light came on. I mean, I knew I got, so many miles left or whatever. And I don't care what your vehicle tells you. I know mine, it drops fast. It drops.
It's funny how that full tank lasts and then you get to a half tank and it goes.
Yeah, that's how it does on mine now. Yeah. You think, I got a half a tank. And then next thing you know, I got a quarter of a tank. Oh, I'm like the light is on and it's saying action is required. That's what it says. It blinks. This action is required.
See, that made me think of Eddie Murphy and Talking Cars. You remember that back in the 80s when he done the skit on Saturday Night Live about cars talking to you?
No, I don't remember that.
He said in one neighborhood, he goes, beep, your battery will not work. And he said, then on the other side, he goes, hey, man, let's go get the dude that stole the battery. Come on. It was funny.
Yeah, he was funny.
Eddie Murphy was one of the best there ever was. Other news there, you think you've done great. You've hit the lottery. And then what happens? Some bad luck. A lottery winner that won $45,000 drowned. They found the lottery ticket in his pocket. He didn't get to cash it.
My goodness.
That was in Michigan.
That's bad.
I guess you call that it just wasn't meant to be.
Right.
I ain't won anything yet, but I hadn't bought anything.
I'm not a lucky person when it comes to stuff like that.
But I have not bought the first lottery ticket since the state of Mississippi made it legal. I hadn't done it. I thought, yeah, I'll go spend a couple bucks, but I have not done it. Maybe one day we'll do that.
I'm not lucky when it comes to stuff like that. So I looked up finding my husband, but thanks to Scotty Ray.
I got a little business on the side.
Yeah, he sets people up.
Zach Brown, you know who I'm talking about there, don't you? Zach Brown has contacted COVID and has canceled upcoming concerts. We wish him well.
Yeah, I hope he's
toes in
okay.
the water. What's the word? Because I'm saying it wrong, I think. I got my toe. My foot in. Oh well.
Chair in the sand. Now we're gonna say chair.
Yeah, because he said an ugly word. Shame on you, Zach Brown. You shouldn't be doing that.
Toes in the water and chair in the sand.
Let's see here. Another story that in Maine. What do you do when you go to town? It was 1982, and you come in your McDonald's and you go, "Hey, I want to build a restaurant." And they go, "Well, you can't do that because we will not allow you to build that building here." And this has been going on since, I think it was 1982. I want to show you this. In order to fit, they bought a house that was already there and put the McDonald's inside of the house that looked like everybody else's. Let me show you these pictures here. It's shocking. I didn't know this would exist, but look at this as you go through this. See the McDonald's sign?
I'm surprised they allowed them to do that.
And here you go, McDonald's. And you go, this is, again, Maine. It looks like a normal house from the outside. And then here you go inside, and it's a full-blown McDonald's restaurant.
I mean, it looks neat.
Yeah, it is.
It's a one of a kind, for sure. But
I didn't know anything like that existed. So the next time you're in Maine, you might want to look that up. That's an interesting little story there. But there's different cities that have these different ordinances, and they just wouldn't let them build what they wanted. And that's where it is there.
Yeah.
So there you go. Freeport, Maine is where that is if you're ever in there. And maybe somebody's been there before.
I've never been there.
So there you go. Let's go back over a few other things that is happening over the week. We wanted to bring this up and pass along condolences.
Yes.
There's going to be a funeral a little later on this morning around noon. Dr. Jack Hall's wife passed away.
Yes.
We cannot send any more heartfelt condolences to him and his family than that. She was 59 years young.
It was an unexpected thing, Yeah. Goodness.
So it tugs at the heartstrings. He's such a nice guy. I don't think
he is. I was in a play with him years back. The play that I told you I was in, Sidney Covington and Jack, and I just feel I feel for them. So prayers go out to them for sure.
Yeah, when you say your prayers tonight, whenever you do your praying, that's it's one thing to know that someone is sick and you kind of you get ready, prepared for it. But
you try to prepare yourself for it. I don't think you're ever really prepared for stuff like that. But yeah, that's one thing. But when something unexpected happens, it's just
that's very hard to get over. So our thoughts go out to him. Don't forget, as we mentioned, this weekend's going to be gorgeous. At least Saturday is. Enjoy yourself. Lots of things going on in our community if you can get out and support and take care of it. Also want to mention, they did a little bit of training this weekend. You know, we had the child that was lost. And you go, well, how do I do this? Well, the emergency management people done a training yesterday. I actually talked to Odie yesterday when they were out there in the woods running around. And he goes, I said, Odie, you going to be all right?
Yeah.
He was hiding behind an oak tree. But they put in training, and that's how they hide some cards, and they teach people what to look for. So a big thank you to all the people that go out and do this and help others. Very important there.
Yes, it is.
We'd like to say some thank yous to everybody coming in and watching us. We can't say thank you enough.
I know. And we hope everybody has a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. This weekend, a safe weekend.
And on tap, what do you got going on?
Baseball.
Big out of town trips?
We're going to Flowwood. So,
that ain't too bad.
Yeah.
Gives you an excuse to go get one of those big, what do you call those, cupcakes, that cupcake joints over there nobody can pass by.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called. Gigi's or something.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it.
Yeah. It is a good place.
Again, we want to say thank y'all for coming by and spending a few moments with Scotty Ray and Candace. Thank y'all so much. We'll see you Monday.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by